Yo, yo. What up? What up? Yo. What up? What up? Hey. Hey, welcome. Welcome to Benny's crib. What up? Yeah, just leave your shoes over there. It's cool. Yeah, thanks. Does that sound cool? Yo, what up? Welcome to Benny's crib. I hit record.
All right, I'm gonna hit it. Yo, bang, bang, bang.
We live. We here. It's tremendous. I'm gonna make sure we're recording. Hey, we recording. This is the first ever visual video Benny's crib episode, allegedly. And I'm here with one half in the shadow of the other half.
I got a squeaky seat.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm with Mains. I mean, I was gonna say the only twins in the in the music scene. That's definitely not true. The only twins that I know in the main music scene, and that is the Ravine. We have the brothers here today. How are you guys?
Dude, doing great. Yeah, doing real well.
Let's see if I remember. Henry's wearing the black sweatshirt.
Yeah, dude. Money.
Joe's wearing the red hat.
You got an eye for it already. It's yeah. Then what?
Sign me up. I'll be a twin psychologist. New project out now. Let's celebrate. That's pretty fucking exciting, guys. How you feeling about that?
Great, dude. It's good to have it out.
Talk on it just real quick. We'll talk about it more in depth later, but for the people, give them a little taste, give them a little blurb, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. It was a bunch of songs that were like in the magazine, so to speak, that we had done a couple years ago where we were still in school and recorded them at school, and then we had a couple recording sessions outside of school, and yeah, just a bunch of songs that we had, and honestly, we had no way of editing them anymore, which is usually the bane to releasing any of our music. We get stuck in holes where we edit shit all the time, and these were untouchable. We just didn't have the files, so it got to a point where it was like, fuck it, let's just put them out. Yeah, and I think it got to a point too where there were songs that we both appreciated for different reasons, and it just kind of made sense where it was like, cool, let's just put out some music, whatever, like what's the harm, and just doing a little 4-song EP and putting it out there. So
yeah, for sure. Well, it's dope. It's out now. Like I said, tap into the Ravine socials, hit them up, and there's a link because it's a dope little project. And just so y'all know, we're live in Portland, Maine. It's pretty warm but windy today out here in this East Coast aquatic zone. Mm-hmm. And spring is almost here. I always want to do a little weather update. Like I said, new project out now. It's a pretty hip hop centric podcast, or at least how it was going to start in my mind. But really, we interview R&B, jazz, alternative, beat makers, producers, just straight vocalists. So it's cool to have y'all here because, like, you're not really hip hop, so to speak, but hip hop is around our lives every day, being alive in America at this point. And I want to ask you this question, even though it might not relate sonically to your music. Memories wise, it definitely might. What's your first memory of hip hop? I asked that to everybody.
Go ahead for a second. I got one. Yeah, I think first kind of like seminal memory of hip hop was definitely with kind of like the neighborhood homie person that, it's like as soon as you got off the bus, it was like you're hanging out, whatever, chilling, since kind of early on in life. It was like us playing a lot of NFL Street and listening to T.I. Paper Trails. Yeah, man, Paper Trails is a sick album. That was one that we bumped a lot, and it was just kind of an eye opener in terms of what was out there. And I, like, to this day, it's like if you I haven't listened to it in a while, but I'm sure if you like played, the first like 4 bars of any song, I'd be like, oh shit, yeah, for sure. That's
Go right back to it. You want to add anything, Henry?
Yeah, dude. I was thinking about this the other day, and I was watching a documentary, and Tupac Shakur, uh, it was like kind of featured in it. He was a part of it, and there's a song that he did with Elton John, Ghetto Gospel. I remember listening to that like in the kitchen, um, and like just like it's so fucking cheesy, but like I remember just like fucking learning every single word to that song, and I've still got it. I put it on my Spotify when I first got my Spotify, and every once in a while, like shuffle, put it on, and it's always like, let's fucking go, let's go back, baby.
I love that. I love that. I love those early memories of hip hop. You can't ever go wrong when you I don't know, just think back about the moments that made an impression on you because obviously you're probably connecting with it positively. So dope. Shout out those early memories. You touched upon it. You touched upon growing up, but for the people who don't know, where did you two grow up?
We grew up in uh, Yarmouth, Maine, and it was a pretty like uh, yeah, it was, like kind of like suburb, like village life. Nothing
Mhm.
crazy. Pretty chill. But yeah, we had a really great neighborhood growing up, which was kind of the thing I was thinking about. Like there was there was like 2 or 3 families that had a bunch of kids. Each of them had like 3 or 4 kids, and all of them, all the kids like lined up age wise through the kind of the generations. So like we would always have these like massive fucking like game nights and
Yeah,
like
hangout sessions and shit, playing manhunt, stuff like
yeah,
that.
exactly. Dude, kick the can was like
I
the
never
game.
played Kick the Can. What is Kick the Can?
Oh, it's so sick. It's like
Similar to Manhunt.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like there's one can that's set up in like a central location, and there's one person that's guarding it, and everyone else goes and hides, and that person has to go and like find the people that are hiding, and then it's a race back to the can, and like getting people in
Ooh,
jail and shit like that. It's dramatic. It's honestly dramatic.
I
Like
like that, yo. I like Capture the Flag a lot too. You guys ever fuck with that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of course, man. Yeah.
That's another good one. When you get the flag somehow and you look and there's a sea of enemies and you have to like pivot through them all.
Yeah.
That's that, and then you do it. That's a top 10 moment when you're an elementarian.
Heroic.
bro,
you're
dude.
you're a hero.
Just like the energy that's coursing through your veins in those moments, man. It's like I don't think I've ever gotten like it's like I think I've tried to like achieve that in other ways, but it's just that fucking yeah.
I feel you. It's like you can't even put it into words. Like I might feel that intense. Like I'll feel lucky to feel that intense like one time in like 5 6 years. Like I don't know. I was feeling that shit every day on the playground. Actually, that's not true. When concerts were open, concerts are pretty much one of the similar things. Like when you're like in the middle of a pit and it opens up and you see like everyone around you and you're like, oh, this is gonna like come in towards me. Oh, I love that shit. Like that's like a playground feel for me, man.
Yeah.
That's cool, yo. You're from Yarmouth. Some of the people for you people at home who don't know that they're mentioning, and these two gentlemen formed something called Block the Wind, if I'm correct.
Mhm.
I don't really know when exactly. I want to say probably in the early 2010s at some point, if not maybe even like late 2009 era. I don't really know, man. But
Yeah.
collective of artists from Yarmouth. Speak more on it.
Yeah, it will. It Joe and I were like Block the Wind started as like this group of kids, kind of similar to what we're talking about, like a neighborhood group of kids that all grew up in like a different part of Yarmouth.
Oh shit! So you weren't even referring to the Block the Wind homies. You had like other like neighborhood
Yeah,
homies. Oh
yeah,
no shit!
a whole separate network, dude.
Oh, I'm thinking Yarmouth is just like one block pretty much because an Old Orchard it's like pretty small town, but there are different sections to it. I guess now that I think about it, so that's really cool. I guess how did you link with the Block the Wind homies then?
Yeah, well, it started. It started like kind of by the time that high school's ending, so it was like mid 2010s, like 2014, 2013 maybe. And it was like all those people were hanging out, and at the time it was like there was like kids that were into music, like 1 Pound and like Ben Thompson, obviously his sister Libby. And then like there were like cool like graphic artists that were doing stuff out there. But at the time, Joe and I were really good friends with Luke, who's 1 pounds. So like we kind of got like roped in through him, and
Shout
then we
out.
became really good friends with Ben. And yeah, that's kind of how it like developed. So we weren't in on like the actual like founding of the thing, but we were always like kind of like there.
That's cool. Actually, I didn't know that. I thought, again, man, I shouldn't assume. When you assume you make an ass out of you, when you make an ass out of me, I assumed you guys were all from the same area, so you all just actually they're more Cousins Island part of Yarmouth, right? Am I correct? And y'all more like, what were we talking about the one time we had another conversation of this previously in the Clam Festival? What was it?
Yeah, we're like closer to NYA. We're like kind of right like in that like on Main Street.
Yeah, and that's where the huge Clam Festival or whatever. What
Yeah.
is it? The Clam Festival? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, talk on that because actually it's pretty record breaking. Like 100K come to your little town for a friggin' clam off.
Yeah, bro. It's a town of like 8,000 people year round, but like for one weekends in like kind of late summer, 100,000 people roll through, which is obviously like kind of a shock to the system. Especially just like growing up there, you know, it's like that's your like neighborhood essentially 365 days out of the year, but like those 2 days or those 3 days just become like
It pops off.
you know, like the world kind of comes to you in a way, which like, you know, whatever, like doesn't really, you know, but like as a kid, like that's some cool shit.
Yeah, for real.
Clams too, dude.
Anything you want? Yeah, I mean, Henry, are you enjoying the clams, fried clams, clam strips? I mean, what are we doing?
All the above. All the above, bro. It's
All the
just
above.
like fried food heaven, man. Fucking
Butter, dip them in the garlic.
Dude,
Somebody sitting next to you, eat it. Tremendous.
yeah, and dude, the way it works too is like it's like a big like fundraising event for like everyone in town. Like all like the sports teams have like booths and shit like that, and like
Bake sale type shit.
everything, all that. And Joe and I played lacrosse in high school, and lacrosse's thing was trash. So
they were a trash team, or they like picked up trash.
Yeah, like literally, like we like our jobs are to like walk around and like to all the trash bins at Clam Fest, like whenever a trash bin was full, it was like picking it up, like tying the bag up, putting another bag in, doing that kind of thing. But it was always sick because when you got off, it was kind of like the end of the booths doing their thing, and they would always have extra food, extra clams, extra like whatever.
And you put out the trash, so they love you.
Yeah, smelling like shit. You got like all this like grease on
just like, dude, it was like the hot clam juice that's sitting at the bottom of a bag all day. That's just like all over you. It's just like,
that was my nickname in college.
Clam. Yeah, it's like I earned some shit right now, dude.
Yeah, you got a Dysart's hat on, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I fuck with Dysart's, bro. They got good pancakes.
Yeah, man, they're a little empire.
They go hard.
They kind of run shit.
Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like a lot of dirty stuff happened to Dysart's. Let's be honest,
bro. Yeah, it's a big front.
No, I'm not even talking about the the company side. They could be on the books. It's a truck stop in Bangor, Maine. Open what, like 24/7?
Yeah, 24/7. I think there are multiple truck stops too. It's a thing.
You gotta watch out up there. Yeah, like dirty things are happening. You don't drive all the way out back, and especially you don't go behind the building. You don't want to know what's going on behind Dysart's past 11 p.m.
Right. Yeah. There's like a strict kind of curfew for that type of activity for our eyes, dude.
There are rules. There are rules to this.
Tremendous. Well, it's kind of back to the I'm gonna try and pronounce your last name. Is it Oliva? Oliva. Damn. Oliva. Like Oliva Closeoff, that prank call name. You ever heard of that from like The Simpsons?
No.
Oh, dude. All right. Bart Simpson calls Mo, the bartender, and he's like, "Is there an Oliver there?" And he's like, "Oliver? What do you mean? What's the last name?" Closeoff. And he's like, "Oliver Closeoff. Oliver Closeoff."
Yeah, with Mo's accent.
And then he's like, "Oh, God damn it." And then he like hangs up the phone. So Oliver, Henry and Joe Oliver. There we go. I always get a little anxiety sometimes when I like try and pronounce people's names when I think I'm going to say it wrong. No, my camera's going to turn off again. It just beeped me. Why does it do that?
There, guys.
I don't know why I'd be doing that. Is it dead or some shit? I mean, my audio's still on.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we
Ha,
hear you.
it's me.
Hey, there you are.
We back, yo, Jack. At least my audio's still going. So worst comes to worst, what I'm gonna do, because I'm having a good time here. If that happens again, I'm gonna still talk to you, but while I'm talking, I'm gonna switch out my battery for the GoPro. But I don't get it. It's plugged into a power source. So I have no fucking clue here, guys. I'm trying my best. Moving on. What were your hobbies growing up? Was music your hobby? You mentioned lacrosse. What'd you guys spend your time doing?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was having a conversation with somebody, and we were, I don't know, just like kind of like comparing experiences of whatever childhood, like that whole conversation. But it was interesting. Like I was just thinking about it, and it's like, yeah, like I feel like growing up, it was like a lot of kind of things were encouraged by like the people around me to like, where it's like, cool, where like I like music, I'm gonna do a little bit of music. Then it was also like, you gotta play sports if you want to, if you like your small school, like you gotta play sports if you want. And so it's like, cool, I'm gonna like spend my time doing a lot of sports. Um, so it was like a kind of interesting mix of everything where like I don't think I necessarily as a kid got too deep into anything, but like yeah, just kind of a mix of like those formal activities of like, music and sports, and then just a healthy dose of fucking around with my friends, which like at different times meant different things. It was like when we were really young, it was like running around the woods and like hitting each other with sticks and
Yeah.
shit. And
You
then
mentioned kick the can and shit like that.
yeah, like kick the can. And then
By
like
high school, it was like ripping bong and setting off fireworks, running from the cops.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's always sand in your shoes for some reason too when you're running around doing shit. Like I grew up on a beach, man. I can't tell you how many times I'd be like, why the fuck am I all sandy? Like, why do I have sap on my hands? Just shit like that.
Right, yeah, for real. Where it's like, how did like I don't what did I do to get this dirty all of a sudden?
Yeah, or like exactly, like a clean like layer, or not layer, but like a cut off line at your ankle of just like dirt.
Yep. No, straight up. You don't buy white shoes. Never. At that age. Oh man, I'd always be like bleeding. I always like be cutting my, like I'd come home and be like, how are these cuts? Like, what the fuck? My shoes all cut up. Like, I just went out and had like 3 beers in the woods with my friends and looked like I fucking fell down a mountain. Oh, tremendous. All right. We're getting off topic here because I'm here for the music. We're here because Color Behind the Eyes is out. And I want to talk about some music. Y'all on a little, not village, but small town life, having fun, playing in the woods, being creative. But when did the two of you start to really want to like make music together? Had you been making music growing up, or was it like something fresh you wanted to do with a Ravine? Kind of give me some history on that.
Yeah, uh like it all kind of started with this like very like our dad's really Italian, and so like the image in my mind is like a kind of like a mafia style like drive through the countryside,
Mm.
where like him and my mom essentially were like, you guys gotta start doing music, like there's no
Whoa.
reason why
They
you
had to
guys
sit
don't.
down almost. They're like, listen, it's gonna be a problem if you guys don't start making
Yeah,
some music.
exactly. It was like
An
suggested.
offer we couldn't
Offer
refuse,
you
bro.
couldn't
It's like, what are you gonna do? Pull off the road and just like dump us out?
Yeah, it was a suggested thing, but it was like it was definitely one of those things where it's like, okay, got it. And then that like Yarmouth's got this really cool music school, 317. That it does like it like is mostly like bluegrass and kind of like more traditional like folk school, so it does like a lot of string stuff. But we started taking lessons there, and we had this really great teacher that essentially would like agreed to teach us at the same time, and like
two of you twins.
sorry, what was that?
Yeah, she teach the two of you twins at once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah, it was
like,
super sick.
ultimate, yeah.
It was super sick, and like his entire thing was like it wasn't like the music side of it. It was like getting us to uh like play well with each other and like to play well in front of people.
Mm.
And then through that we got exposed to like a couple of different like festivals. Um, one of them was like this like main music's like showcase that was split into a bunch of different like groups, and one of the groups was a singer-songwriter group, and we whatever auditioned for it, and we auditioned for it without writing any music. And the deal was like you're supposed to show up with a song that like your group learns how to play, and then like you play it in front of people. So we showed up to the weekend and we didn't have anything that we'd ever written. So we were both like, fuck, like seriously under the gun. But it ended up turned into something really cool, and like it all kind of like snowballed from there. And yeah, we just like realized we both really liked playing with each other, and it was kind of like an intuitive thing.
Hell yeah. Did you say this was like when you were in high school?
Yeah, it was
like freshman year or something.
Yeah, maybe like freshman or sophomore year.
What age are you now?
24.
Ooh, nice. What month you born in?
December.
Not on Christmas.
No.
That would be tough because then you have to have like your birthday on Christmas.
No, bro, we got the nice window where it's like Thanksgiving, like wait like a week and a half, and it's our birthday, and it's like wait until Christmas, and then it's like that nice little like it's the holiday season, man. Things are festive that time of year.
Older brother.
Wait, what was that? Sorry.
Who's the older brother out of you two? Like who was born first?
I am. I got 2 minutes on Henry. So
you look younger than him.
You think so?
I think you do. You got more of like a youthful glow. I think Henry's got more
got
of
the
a 10 year
face.
Quarantine has been nice to me. No, it's you know what it is? It's wisdom. I got a lot of wisdom.
I think you look more like, you're signing the checks.
Yeah, dude, I'm doing the business. I'm getting great.
Whoa.
I don't even know what time. I'm just trying to start a little drama here. I don't even really know what I'm saying. You both look great. You're both sexy. You both sign checks. Let's get on to the next topic. When did you two form the Ravine? When did Henry and Joe Oliver, I say it right that time?
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Sopranos. My Italian vernacular is getting
what I'm saying, dude. Yeah. Bada bing.
Bada bing. That's like honestly like my favorite show, or probably my favorite show to watch. I watched it like 10 times, like front to back. I'm not kidding. Regardless.
Yeah, I'm just starting it right now. I'm in the first season. First time through. I'm like, dude, it's like a series. I'm like connecting. I'm connecting with like a part of like my cultural history.
That's pretty cool though. I've never actually talked to anyone who's had like kind of Italian culture, tradition, or just ethnicity in their house watching the show, because the people that I hear interviews from who are like actors, who are Italian actors on that show, like resonated a lot with it, and they hired a lot of Italian actors. So it actually is a pretty authentic experience I've heard from other people. That's cool though. That's cool, man. Shout out to Sopranos. I could literally take this podcast, say fuck all, throw it to the window, and talk about Sopranos all day.
Yeah, we'll just make it a fucking Sopranos podcast. Why not, dude?
Yeah, I would, but there's actually 2 actors from The Sopranos just started a podcast where they're watching an episode every week, and it's huge right now. Like I'd have no chance. We gotta wait a couple of years, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Ravine time. When did we jump into the Ravine? I got 2 questions. First, when did it form, and where did the name come from? Because I had an old smoking spot in the woods in college called the Ravine, so I resonate with your name a little.
Yeah. So the Ravine, similar kind of spot. I mean, it was like just what we basically called like the forest kind of out behind our house was the Ravine. So it was up growing up, it was like the spot where we like went and built forts and shit and like had fun and like hit each other with sticks. And then when we were in high school, it was the spot where we built forts and like smoked weed with our friends. You know what I mean? It's like
solid growth
exactly.
in those woods.
Yeah, they care.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no, but I think when like if I were to say kind of like the official start date of us as a group, I think it would be that experience that Henry was talking about, which was like kind of that first showcasey type thing, where it was like we had to show up with a song, didn't have a song, like we, for all intents and purposes, it was like we were playing together because it was like Henry's got keys, I got guitar, we both kind of sing, like it just like worked kind of in the household, because it was like cool, like we're not stepping on each other's toes necessarily, we can just do this, have fun, collaborate in this way that was like pretty unformed and without
There's no pressure.
yeah, there was no label. It was just like, cool, we're just playing music together. And then I think like that experience where it was like we wrote our first song together, we kind of worked on it, like workshopped it, came out of that weekend and like performed it in front of a crowd and all that. It was like, okay, cool, we should kind of like formalize this thing because
it's a dog shit song, by the way.
Yeah, it was a dog shit song, but I mean, it was like sophomore in
Yeah.
high school, freshman in high school, whatever.
um, that's cool. Well, I want to talk about some of your music then, unless you want to add anything, Henry, to like the origins of the Ravine.
No, that's it. I do remember it really distinctly, us going through a phase where it was like, what are we, like, what do we call ourselves? And then it was like, one day it's just like, oh, like we should just do this. Like that makes sense. But
Sweet, yo, hell yeah. Well, my next question was gonna involve kind of the chemistry between you two. You touched upon it, like who plays what in a sense. I think Henry, you do keys, and then Joe, you do guitar more, and then you each sing. Is that kind of the vibe I got?
Yeah, I think that's like the most basic way of like breaking it down. I think over the course of time, yeah, just like as we've added more musical experience and like different instruments and all that stuff, like that's kind of morphed and changed.
Yeah.
But that's the basics right there.
yeah.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I did some research on your music. I looked into some of the earlier stuff you were doing, Notes from Nowhere, Zeros. There's a lot of different sounds, I think, in your music in general. That's why I also too like to get you on the show because I could see you, being on a hook to, a more hip hop song or a song with more production effects and post production. But then you have, some songs that are almost like ambient and very like the vocals mold into the instrumentation more than shine over them. And I say that like with utmost compliment. Um, some songs are almost like moody or like alternative and have very pop appeal, very poppy vocals too. This is cool. Like, so you got some folk songs, straight up, almost like folk songs that I was hearing too, just in my ear, or at least sounds, I should say. Um, with this plethora of different, sonic structure in a sense, where were you drawing inspiration from? Like, is there a constant, like source of it in a sense, or do you kind of just play what you feel in a sense, or talk on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes from a lot of different places, and I think like, yeah, I mean, it definitely comes from like artists that, um, like I think we both looked up to, but I also think it's like it came from like it, a lot of it came from exploring things that like felt like emotionally kind of more resonant with like time and place where we were in writing. And I also think like the experience of like hanging out with like Ben and Luke um meant a lot, and I think it pushed us in ways that like kind of pushed us out of our comfort zones, and like at the time felt really weird and foreign, but like have kind of just like become part of that story.
Yeah.
And it's cool because like the songs that we released off of Color Behind the Eyes, like it's the same deal where it's like that comes from a time and place. We're working on a ton of new music right now that sounds totally different from it, which is really exciting. And it's, I don't know, it's cool. It's like there's so many things to do and like to use, so many like different like cool tools, and it's just
Yeah.
like what sounds good, like what's like emotionally resonant right now.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
and I think that's just a process of like growing. And it's cool too because like we get to bounce ideas off each other, and like we also get to like see like individually how like we grow and like how our like tastes shift, and then like kind of like it's always like synthesizing like both of our tastes
Sweet.
into whatever music. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say too that like I don't think that I mean like and this is all to like kind of a certain extent, but like I think the kind of variance in like sound and structure and all that stuff is just us, like the way that I feel personally about it is just like I don't feel too precious about the idea that like this is my sound, where it's like cool, you write a song on an acoustic guitar and it's going to sound a certain way.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
if you are fucking around with some of your friends and you like put it on a synth or you put it on, you know, it's like you put that chord progression into like
Right.
something else, it's like, oh shit, word, this is totally different, but this is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
totally like the essence of what I was trying to get at. You know,
Mhm.
when I like wrote this song on this particular instrument that lends itself to this particular sound. And so it's like kind of, I don't know. For me, it's like just the spirit of exploration and just being like, word, fuck it, cool, that sounds dope. Like, let's try it.
Yeah, I like that. Well, the spirit of exploration really just, everyone says this kind of shit, but I think it's some of the most true mentality, or one of the most true mentalities when you are creating. You just take whatever vibes are coming and you just kind of go with the flow. Like whatever energy you're hitting that day and whatever you're kind of feeling in synchronicity with that, that's what you're going to create with. And it can't be, necessarily duplicated like every day. You might have similar vibes, but it's
Mhm.
like when you're very immersed in whatever you're creating, I think you can really see um just how different and diverse and beautiful it all can kind of be each time, in a sense. That
Yeah, I think just to hop on that, like I think too, well, a couple different things. Like I think both of us enjoy like weird shit. Like we like hearing
Do you have any
weird.
like artistic influences? Like I kind of hear almost like Justin Vernon, Bonnie Bear sometimes when I was listening to some of your shit.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, and a lot, like especially around like Notes from Nowhere and
Yeah, more that era.
yeah, yeah, exactly. With like I don't know, like Keep You Afloat, like that song was like directly influenced by him. And yeah, it's cool because like it comes and go, like artists come and go, and like I think we identify with certain artists more at different points and different like styles of music. Um, but yeah, he was a big one for a long time,
Hell
and
yeah.
that was I think where that like enjoying like the weird, like if you get like some sort of like artifact from a like some weird pedal that you have plugged into your amp that's like mic'd the wrong way, it's like keep that thing, build
Yeah.
off that thing, and
Sometimes
like
the accidents are good.
yeah, we'll see what happens, like
Well, yeah, for real. And it's like, I think, it's just another person and kind of like of the same kind of like stature in my eyes is definitely Elliott Smith, where it's like in the same sense, it's like a lot of the music that he made, especially when I was first getting into him, was stuff that like I didn't like at first listen, or I didn't like. It's like this is just like sonically, like I'm not sure what to make of it. Like I'm
Mhm.
just not sure what to like make of a lot of that music. And I think in a lot of ways, just as it goes to like the like I guess art conversation and like influence conversation, I think that's the stuff that's the coolest to me, where it's like, and to get into like the weird sounds and like the weird amp noises and you know all of this kind of not necessarily dissonant shit, but shit that's like not necessarily um doesn't necessarily make sense the first time you listen to it. It's like dope, that stuff's cool. How do I do that more? And that's just stuff that I'd like to lean into more, I guess, in the future.
the other thing that was cool about him is like he did it all. Like he like he really got into like the recording process, but he also was like the guy that played the drums and the bass and the guitar, and he like did the keys and did the vocals and like did all that stuff. And like having that mindset, I think is like kind of a cool thing. Because he also like would show up and he would just when he played live, it would just be an acoustic guitar,
Mm,
and him, and like sometimes he'd have a band, but like kind of the most potent stuff was when he like took the music that he made
yeah.
in like kind of like a condensed like studio setting, and like where you could sit down and like really edit it and like hone it into something, and then you take it and you would like put it into a guitar and him, and it's just like that like kind of like philosophy, I think, is like something that's really appealing for both of us.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a huge Elliott Smith fan too. The first time I ever heard him, well, the song I heard was "Needle in the Hay," and I
Mm.
was like gravitated to the vocals immediately. But kind of like you said, Joe, I was just like, what do you make of this? In a sense, like
Yeah.
it's very different. And a lot of us when we grow up, I think one of you might have even talked about this theme where whether it's, you know, hobby wise, pop culture wise, you kind of get like directed towards what to be focused on early on in your life, just because you don't know what channels of consumption to really follow. You know, like the TV's on because your parents turned it on. That's what you're going to consume. Vis-a-vis with the radio, it could be same with the older kids, cousins, older siblings, whatever it may be, right?
Mhm.
And then through a lot of that, it's a lot of like I call it like bread and butter, like top down mainstream America stuff. And there's some great stuff in that. Like I always say, I like to watch Kitchen Nightmares from Gordon Ramsay. That's like major cable. I'll get high as fucking watch him scream at people about souffles and shit. It's tremendous. And musically, you know, it's like a lot of pop when I was growing up is what I heard. And I heard some dope shit from my dad too. Don't get me wrong, but like in my social circles, it was a lot of pop. But dude, I heard. And I got into, so then I got to into music in high school more on my own. But even so, it's still like I wasn't into singing songwriting as much as I was hip hop and maybe more R&B, like rhythm blues influenced more than like direct like a singer songwriter. And then fucking I heard, and that's not even true. I was into Justin Vernon in high school, so I kind of had a little bit. But Elliott Smith just took me in a different direction. I was like, this sounds like this person's entire existence is in this. Like it sounds like this is them, like completely. And like this is heavy. Like I gotta figure this out. And then once I clicked and I was like, wow, like this is. I mean, I think a lot about how beautiful Elliott Smith's music is. You know, he's one of them artists that I forget how much I like, and then I put him on, and I'm like, I'm putting like 2 hours with the songs on in a row because that's how much I love that shit. So shout out Elliott Smith. Rest in peace, Elliott Smith.
Yeah, and then you're just walking around in a daze for the rest of the day. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah, no, man. I think that point is really good about yeah, just how like certain music can feel like it sits apart from everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like it's not everyday shit. You know what I mean? It's like it's not.
Yeah, like to just like I think one of the things that is cool about someone like Justin Vernon and is cool about Elliott Smith is like they make emotionally complex music that's like not it's not like I think a lot of the stuff like what you're talking about in terms of like getting directed in certain directions and like like gaining some sort of like cultural knowledge and that kind of thing. It's like you come out of those experiences with like some sort of like a palette in terms of like these are the things that I like and these are the things I don't like. And like a lot of that, I think, especially a lot of the times that manifests itself, I think, in like pop music, which is like generally a positive thing. And I think what's challenging about Elliott Smith and I think to some extent Justin Vernon is like those dudes are making music that is like it's happy and it's sad at the same time and it's like confusing to listen to because you're not sure what you're supposed to feel.
Yeah, I like that. I don't want to like interrupt, but I would feel happy that I felt sad when I listened to like Elliott Sad or Justin Vernon. Like I'm like, I feel good today, but somehow I want to go put on Holocene and cry for like a little bit. Like, why do I want to do that? Like, what the fuck? Or like, it was just so funny. Like, I like that. I don't even know what the word is. Not hypocrisy.
It's like a contradiction.
Contradiction of humanity. Yeah, right there, bro.
Yeah, but what's cool about it is it's like so like it just in that where like it exists in the same thing. It's like that's like what life is like. It's like such an accurate reflection of like people's everyday experience and like at least my everyday experience too. It's like that, and that's why I think I'm gravitated towards it.
I love it. We got a little off topic talking about Ravine and Elliott Smith, or talking about Justin Vernon and Elliott Smith, but I love it because I love those two artists, and we're just fans at the end of the day, right? Pretty much before we're artists, and anything we do, that's why we do it. So shout out that, and again, shout out to Ravine's discography. The Kate EP was dope. I thought you guys almost maybe use more, at least to my ears, I could be incorrect, but more production effects on this one. And I really liked how it molded with your vocals specifically. And that's even something I want to talk about a little bit more is you doing music that has more of a production to it in terms of like the what you're singing or putting your vocals over. And I think of immediately Bean Dogs when I think of that. I imagine there might have been some instrumentation on that, but you guys are doing some wild shit over 1 pound beats. For those who don't know, Bean Dogs is the Ravine, Young Nicky G, I believe, right? Nick Genesios and Bean
Yeah,
Dogs.
man. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
and
the visual component of the entire,
1 pound.
project.
They dropped the project. It's on streaming and shit. It's called just Bean Dogs. It's fucking dope. I love Bean Dogs. I'm like probably the one who's the most like advocate for that I've seen out here. Like I'm always like posting it, or I haven't posted it in a minute, but I was like, fuck, this shit's dope. Talk on Bean Dogs. How did it come together? Please.
Dude, Bean Dogs is like the greatest. It was like such a fun project because it was like it totally wasn't anything until it was something. And then I think when all of us realized that we'd like been creating cool stuff, it was just like, holy shit, like this is dope. And like we all kind of leaned into it. Which was cool because like Luke's a busy guy. Like, he's got a lot of music to produce, and he's doing all of his own stuff. And like for him to really buy into it was cool. For Genesio to be there, documenting a lot of it, and also just being like glue guy, like ultimate glue guy in that situation was really dope.
Love that. Sorry, I'm just plugging my laptop into. I'm not trying to be rude.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, dude, I don't know, like, it was just this like really cool, cool project.
You guys, like the geography, the location of it was you went up to like a camp or some shit and recorded it in the summer, right?
Well, yeah, I think, yeah. So like, kind of go off Henry's point and all of it. It's just like it was a total like stars aligning type moment, where we knew that we wanted to make music together, and it was like, word, cool, nice couple days coming up north. Let's go up to camp. Let's go fucking chill out for a couple days. And it was like I think it was 4 or 5 days, where essentially the entire project was created, outside of some of the editing stuff that came in later and maybe a song or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. And like I was actually listening to the project the other day, and I forgot about some of the things that we like kept in, but on a couple songs it's like you can hear some like cicadas, grasshoppery things going on because we were recording late at night.
Yeah.
And it's just like keeping that shit in there, leaving that as like kind of ambiance, as like going between tracks and that type of thing. Whenever I listen to it, it brings me, like, snaps me right back into that moment, just because it was such a particular time and place, such a particular group of people that were just like down to make shit.
Yeah, you all seem
really
like pretty
cool
unique
experience.
individuals too. Now that I've talked to you a couple times, and I'm tight with. I saw Nick like 2 days ago because I caught the scary pants he dropped.
Yo, I got
Oh, you got the scary green, dude. The scary
Yeah,
green
bro.
long sleeve. I got those yellow zip offs.
Very sick.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
those are fresh.
I like him even more as shorts too. Like they dope as fuck his pants. Don't get me wrong, but I zipped them off and I'm like, these are tough. I'm like, Nick, I plug my back. I'm tripping, bro. It says plug your.
Well, bro, you can have both. Is the nice thing.
You can have shorts and pants.
Yeah.
I think I charge this
Whatever
much.
you want.
You can split them too, dude. Depending on how you're feeling. If you're feeling really good.
Do a one leg.
Yeah.
Left leg out.
Yeah. Strong leg.
Why ain't my laptop charging? Sorry, this is weird stuff happening. My laptop's legit plugged in. It's like, nah, and I'm not plugged in. I'm like,
Yeah, dude, tech's pushing back right now.
yeah. So actually, if you guys want a real story, nice.
There it is.
Worked. I recorded this once with the Ravine. My mic was blown out. It wasn't working. And then ever since, like we've been trying to schedule another one, and there's been some tech, like big techs on our ass. I don't know what your dad or your grandfather or your uncle or your cousin Carlo did back in the day to piss somebody off, but we got either the Italian mob influence getting beat down by big tech. I might be too much of a force, the one man brand who can do whatever. I'm a bulldozer. Watch out. I might be trying to get taken out. Knock on wood. This podcast is brought to you by Yardyton. Go get some good Jamaican barbecue in the public market house. That's it.
Good. It's such good food,
Shit
bro.
slaps.
I get it like once a week.
Fuck yeah, that's when I know you're good people. If you had Yardyton. I'm getting ranty. Computer's fixed. Bean Dogs is a fucking smasher of an album. And Big Tech, you can't get us. We're bigger than you.
Bro. Big tech's afraid,
Again, though, I love the Beandogs album. Thank you for breaking down the behind the scenes stories of it. Shout out One Pound, he killed the fucking production. Shout out Nick, he killed the visual components, and shout out y'all, you all killed the vocals. I still think Stale should be like in a Euphoria teaser on HBO or something. You know, someone's crying in the alleyway, and then like they're like, it's like what is it? Like, I'm alone, I'm all right, full of beer, I don't feel a thing. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So I could definitely see someone like, crying and like they're like, drinking out of a red cup like by themselves, like angsty. God damn. And now that's the other thing I was gonna say. My GoPro keeps overheating. That's why it turns off. Like it's warm, it's overheating. This is a new GoPro. Why can't it just stay on it while I'm talking? I'm telling you, big tech is coming for our ass.
Yeah.
Get it, bro.
Yeah, bro. It was when we were making that album, it was one of those where it was like every song we made, we were like, yo, this is gonna pop off on TikTok, dude.
Yeah.
Like every song it was like, yo, this is the TikTok song.
Right now. Why not? I bet Stale could pop. Or like I think the two that I go back to heavily are Stale and Coconut. Just like the beat that one made.
Yeah.
I like it all, don't get me wrong. Like that's a great like summer, especially like outside, like you put a fire, sunset, and put that kind of shit on when you start kind of getting like from a little faded into like like nighttime drunk. Coconut smacks. Again, though, this isn't the Beandogs podcast, it's the Ravine podcast, but I want to show love to that project. I want to talk more about the new music. I want to talk about Color Behind the Eyes. I've been talking to y'all for about 45 minutes. I got a timer going this time because last time we talked, I had no clue how that was. I was a little high. It felt like it could
It
have
was like two and a half, something like that. We just fucking sent it, dude. It was great.
It was 2 hours.
Yeah, it was pretty long.
Jesus. I feel like I actually have covered more, and this has been more articulate in this 46, which is, I think it's because I have the knowledge of the previous interview.
Yeah, it was a dry run.
Dry run. Well, I wasn't dry. Anyway, I got rapid fire questions I would like to ask you before we get into the discussion of the new. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right, boys. Both of you answer. Joe, Henry. Whoever wants to answer first can go, but I want answers from both of you. Who is the better swimmer?
Probably say Henry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say Henry on that one.
Mm-mm. If you could double date any celebrity siblings, who would it be?
My gut said the Jenners. Just because they're hot.
Yeah.
But like,
Like,
there's no substance.
I don't like know any other celebrity siblings.
We're
like
out of their
Mary
league.
Kate and Ashley.
uh,
Fucking yeah, I don't know,
What
bro.
we said? Oh, the Williams.
Solange?
Dude.
I date Beyonce and Solange easily over.
Beyonce Solange, that's true.
Ever. Who else? Who's got to be more? Man, I'm not really that tapped in as much as I thought I was until like pop culture.
Yeah.
Dude, the issue is there are not that many sibling duos, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe they are, dude.
There are a lot of families.
I feel like there's families. I feel like there's more like families, you know, it's like famous families rather than like famous
siblings.
sisters. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
Yeah. Now I'm just like aggravated at myself. I'm like, really? All I can think of is all we said was the Jenners, Mary Kate and Ashley, and Beyonce Solange. That's all our minds can think of. I guess so. Sometimes it be like that, yo.
yeah, for real.
I don't really know.
I feel like I'm gonna listen, you know, or something. It's just gonna be like, why didn't I think of this?
Owen, Wilk, Owen and Luke.
Owen and Luke. Wow.
We did this last time. I remember that. All right, we're moving on. You guys got like a rapper right now you fucking with? Like you got a favorite MC? Either one of you? You listen to a little hip hop, I imagine. You know, it's everywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Danny Brown.
Hell yeah, bro.
Danny boy.
Yeah, I'm going with Danny Brown too. I think just like as in the moment right now, Danny Brown for sure.
Big Danny Brown guy.
Yeah, there it is.
Huge Danny Brown guy.
On deck, dude. It's
He's
right there.
consistent.
It's within arm's reach.
Also, talk about someone that like didn't like he. What's cool about him is like, I don't know, dude. Like he's got like a really distinct voice, obviously, and he's got like kind of a distinct style. But like that album is got such a different feel. You know,
That album is fucking rough.
Yeah, it's
Sweating like I'm in a rave, been in this room for 3 days. Like that's like how he starts the album, I think. I'm just like, oh shit.
yeah, dude,
Are
it's
you
like,
okay, Danny?
yeah, it's bruising, dude.
Yeah. One of my favorite reviews I ever wrote, I think, for anything was about that album. I said it was pretty much just like a full embrace and embodiment of his sins. And he was almost like sitting on a pile of his like debauchery and filth and just god damn, man. Every time I get in a zone, this thing wants to take my shine. Big tech, fuck you. I'm figuring
going.
this out for the next episode.
Keep
But
going.
Danny Brown is just a tremendous MC, and I said he was just kind of like embracing his demons rather than trying to fight against them on that album, and that's why I think it just sounds so different and beautiful. Maybe
Yeah, yeah, dude, that's a good way of putting it.
this thing's fucking heating. This thing feels like blacktop in the summer. I'm glad you can still hear me, but this is fucked. Good thing we got these beautiful twins. You guys single? You guys on the market looking for any ladies, any men in your life? Oh,
We're chilling right now, man.
We still pandemicing.
I feel that. Dude, this thing's fucking
See
this thing is like
anybody.
a brick oven pizza. All right, we're gonna have to find a new power source so this thing doesn't fucking burn out.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. I'm gonna keep it going. Fuck it. I love life, and I'm not gonna let this rain on my parade. What's your favorite Bonnie Bear album?
22. I think 22 for me. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Just in terms of, again, like it was like a time and place thing.
Yeah.
Where it was just like it hit me at like the perfect time and place, and it was like I couldn't stop listening to it.
Well, he fucking pushed it, dude. That was the sick bit. Was like he like really sent it and it landed. You know, relative to the stuff that he made before.
Right.
You know, because I mean, in that album between the self-titled one and 22, you know what I'm talking about, the one with like Perth on it and stuff like that, like that, like hinted at it, but like 22 is just like fucking like going for it.
Yeah.
I would agree. That album was a much bigger. I don't like the word risk because that like insinuates that
Yeah.
this shit's like, you have to hit a certain mark, but it just was a much more, I don't know, not even ambitious. He just went for it, like you guys said.
Yeah.
For me too, like as it played as like an album all the way through, was just, there was something about it that was way more it just felt way more like whatever this like 10, 11 songs needs to be played in this, or or it's just like this
Yeah.
this is the piece of art right here,
Mhm.
as opposed to being like all the scene's a banger or whatever,
I feel that. Well, tremendous. This is gonna resonate with some earlier days for y'all. What's like one of your favorite Block the Wind memories, perhaps?
Playing the first Block the Wind festival, playing in Ben's backyard. It's awesome.
That's wicked dope.
So fun. It was like peak. There weren't that many people there, but everyone that was there was just down, and it was like really fun to like, I don't know, to play and to like share with people at that point.
Yeah, I think for me the entire, like the first time we played it, One Longfellow was amazing, just like for similar reasons, where it was like, holy shit, this is all new and fresh and amazing, but at a really cool venue
I love that.
in the middle of Portland. It was cool, and just like it wasn't like it, by no means were there a lot of people there or anything like that, but it was still just
It's
fun.
important though.
Yeah, it was fun, it was amazing, and it just felt yeah, it was just a really good energy that I miss.
I also gotta say, like, the dopest part is like obviously like playing music and like doing that, but it's it's such a cool community of artists that show up, and like if they're performing or if they're not, like it's so cool. It's like such a cool network of people that are doing cool stuff. it's all like I always come away from it just being like, oh my god, this is so fucking like cool. It's so lucky to be a part of that system.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, Lock the Wind definitely was one of those things that really made me just awake myself to how much dope shit's out here in the area. I went to my first Block the Wind festival before I even started Benny's Crib, so that was even like a little bit of an influence for me. This motherfucker ain't working, so I'm using my camera.
Throw it in the ocean, man. Just
Big business or big tech, whatever you are.
it beat you. Take it halfway out in Casco Bay.
This is killing me on the inside. I'm big on
there,
consistency, and I can't.
bro. You know what I'm saying? Just like good night.
All right, I'm not even gonna worry, but we're gonna put this down. We're gonna finish this goddamn interview like soldiers. What's your go-to food spot in Portland, yo?
Are we talking go-to in terms of like last meal or in terms of
Yeah, actually, I kind of like that.
like
Like
everyday shit? Or like yeah.
pick like a one that you really fuck with heavily. That applies.
Kuno. Dude, I get it. I get their chicken sandwich like twice a week.
That's
At
fucking
least.
dope.
Yeah. But the thing is I've never I like started doing it the last couple months, never been. Can't wait to go. When I go after
Yeah,
all
well,
this
you get
interview,
DoorDash. I mean, you can't. It's tough to go now with all this shit.
dude, when I go and I'm like actually in the restaurant and I get like to be there, I'm gonna just like shower them with love.
I get them a lot because they're one of the few places that's late on DoorDash. Like if I
Yeah.
go late and I'm like hit the gym and it's like 10 and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, yo, I can get like a Malaysian stir-fried rice with cauliflower and chicken and then like a side of Brussels sprouts at 10:30. That's fucking sick. Like that's tremendous. Like I'm so bummed about this, guys. I'm not gonna front. I'm trying to be in the moment, but
It's okay, man.
big tech, you know, I'm an emotional guy. I like Elliott Smith and I like Bonnie Bear. This is
Yeah.
I didn't hear your answer.
Yeah, I mean for me, and it's not on DoorDash. It was one of those things that like I I've loved for a very long time, and I don't get it frequently because it's hard to get. But Taco Trio, man, Taco Trio. If I could die,
You
if
got
I
it.
could die in a bed of those tacos, bro, I would.
Taco Trio's stupid. It's probably my favorite Mexican food in the area.
It's insane, bro. No, it really is. Like,
It's so good.
yeah, bury me with the salsas, dude. Just underneath this, like
That
spicy-
orange fucking
Both your arms.
the orange radioactive one, dude. That shit like
Yeah, bro. Yeah, where it's just scoop your own.
Yo,
The whole scoop, and that was the thing. It was like like I don't know what it's gonna look like, you know, in 2023. But what it was in like 2018, 2019, where it's just like I have these vivid memories of like walking in there on like a cold winter night, and it was just like hot and steamy inside, and fucking everybody like packed to the gills.
that's so I missed like
It's
when you're just having a rough day and you walk in a food spot you like and you know you're gonna indulge on food that you're gonna enjoy, but then like just the atmosphere hits you, the music's playing, you're like, all my worries have dissipated in this moment. I'm ready.
literally, it's just like me and the menu, bro. It's like what what am I fucking up tonight? Yeah.
Yeah. I just had a Flores for the first time. It's Salvadorian food on Congress Street. Duh. Tremendous. Like I was very impressed. Great job to them. Trying to think, what else did I fuck with?
Yardy Ting's amazing.
Of course, Yardy Ting's one of my favorite spots. I like everything Yardy Ting has. You get like just go with easy peasy like bread and butter. Get jerk chicken, mac and cheese, and a side of plantains. Like that's like the dirty meal. That's the dirty one. But then if I'm really going wild, I'm like, nah, give me the coconut curry, and then I want steamed veggies on the side, and I want rice and peas. And some days I get saltfish and aki. Some days I just want a couple patties or maybe a couple festivals. Some days you gotta get the chicken stew. One time she gave me oxtail fries.
Ooh, damn.
And she loaded it up. Shout out Shannon, she's the best. She loaded it up. Gave me like 3 times the amount of oxtail they usually give somebody for free. And I went home and I was gonna eat healthy that day, and I had this big fries, cheese, oxtail, and I was like, "Fuck!" I'm like, you can't reheat that. You can't put that away and make that like, it's like fucking
Just one touch.
bagel.
One touch, dude. That's the only thing you can do.
I just had to just send that one. So that was tremendous too. So yeah, shout out Yard Eating always. I mean, like I said, this podcast is sponsored by them, and they are one of my favorite places to continuously visit and spend money and go to. Next rapid fire question: what's your biggest accomplishment? What do you think?
Beating 2020, dog.
Yeah.
Not getting COVID.
That's a fair one. A fair one.
Shouts out.
Knock on wood, bro. Knock on wood. Yeah, no, I think for
You-
me, like it's
You were in 2021 now, so hypothetically you did.
yeah. Yeah, no, I think like pretty similarly. It's just like I feel I feel accomplished in just like kind of where I'm at in life, where it's like everyone's healthy around me, I'm healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's yeah.
That's, I mean, it's kind of like I don't like the word like cheesy, but like just being in the moment, being healthy, being alive, that's a huge victory in itself, bro. Like just being where you're at. That's a huge accomplishment. People take that for granted.
Well, and that's the thing is it's like and it's like I know a lot of people where it's just like that's not necessarily the case in a lot of instances, and just to feel good about where I'm at, where my family, where my friends, where everyone's at, it's just like I feel very fortunate and very lucky. And if I never ever do anything, it's fun. It's not fun. I want to do things,
Yeah,
but it's just
Okay.
it's like I like there I feel satisfied by all that knowledge. So
Tremendous. What about you? What about you, Henry?
Yeah, I mean, same. Yeah, I guess like, yeah, I feel very proud of like the friendships I've managed to like create.
Yeah.
And also like finding a way to like stay here in Portland or in this area, like making it work here for as long as I've been able to do that has been really awesome. Yeah, I don't know. There's not really any like moments that come to mind. It's just a general.
Yeah. Oh, no worries. I like that. I like that. I got two more. What's your fourth favorite holiday?
July 4th.
no, I fucked this answer up last time, and I'm trying to think about it.
Yeah, I remember that.
I said Valentine's Day last time, and
for a minute about
don't mean that. I was realizing as soon as and you guys fourth favorite holiday. So it would have to go probably for me. It would have to go Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas. Yeah, bro. Shit. Maybe it's 4th of July for me too.
Good answer. Fourth is the fourth. It's congruent. It's
It's
consistent.
just not loaded. It's like not a loaded holiday. That's the thing. It's like New Year's. Like I can't really get behind New Year's. There's always such like shit going into it. You know.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. It's like whatever. But.
Tremendous. All right, last one. Once concerts are back, what's a concert you're dying to see?
Are we talking like if they're touring Portland or just like
In
generally?
general, just any artist.
Yeah, I'm trying to see this band Idols pretty badly. I think they'd just be an amazing show, and it'd be a lot of fun.
I listen to a lot of Phoenix these days. I would love to see a Phoenix show.
Dope, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Although like I just want to hear them play like kind of their old stuff, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how to communicate that to them now.
Yeah, I don't think a touring artist is gonna want to hear you say, "Hey, I'll play your old hits."
Yeah.
Never really goes well. Unless it's like they do like we're playing this album front to back for the fans. It's like, yeah, I can keep up with that. All right, we survived rapid fire.
Mhm.
All technological issues aside, all big business beef aside, it's been great talking with the Ravine today. Joe and Henry, they have a new project out. It is called Color Behind the Eyes. It's been dope having you too for the first visual episode of Benny's Crib.
Mm.
Much appreciation for coming through for that as well. And before we wrap it up, is there anything you really want to say about this new project? Again, I thought it was really diverse in the sounds you have to offer, and it's cool how much music you guys can fit into the, a 4-track EP. So yeah, any final thoughts you have on the project before I kind of get to my concluding questions?
Yeah, I think when I think about this just little 4-track EP and like what I'm proud of from it, I think it is kind of the diversity in sound and like kind of texture and feel and all of it. I think that that's something that, again, like as we spoke on a little bit earlier in the conversation, it's like that's all stuff that I have a lot of fun exploring myself, and we have a lot of fun, I think, just exploring and messing around with, and trying different things. And yeah, it's something I'm proud of, but it's not too precious to me. And so I'm happy with the way that it all just is out there and exists, and it's all stuff that other people can listen to and enjoy, ideally.
Yeah, I think some of that too is like I think we both had a lot of fun when we were recording it, and like we both like a lot of the songs are like circumstances of like really like kind of like fun and cool moments, and I think that we kind of carried that into the actual recording and editing of it. And I also think like it kind of was like those songs at least were always like kind of stuck out in my mind at least in terms of like I think we put a lot of energy into those, and like we really like did our best to like flesh it out and like really like kind of explore with a bunch of different stuff. So I'm proud of it.
Hell yeah. I'd love to hear that. Is there anything you want to tease, or maybe just let the fans know at home that you're working on now?
Yeah, I mean, we've been working on another project for a year or so at least. Kind of started at the beginning of when things got crazy last year and through the summer and then through the winter. So we've got stuff coming down the pipe, and then we've also been talking with 1 Pounds about getting back in the stew, doing some bean dogs.
Bean dogs too.
Keep your eyes out for that.
Bean dogs too.
Yo, I don't know if there's a safe summer cook-up anywhere, and you need a journalist to behind the scenes document some stuff. I might know.
That'd be
something.
sick. Yeah.
All right, now
Actually,
now we're thinking about.
I got this GoPro now. Once I can figure it out, I can take some behind the scenes footage with Nick, get like a secondary camera. I allegedly might have cannabis, but I'm not gonna say anything. So
Allegedly.
I'm not trying to rush too much, but cool. Bean Dogs 2 is coming out June 2nd, 2021 on RhymeBeat Records.
There it is. Yeah.
Happen. That's cool though. I'll be looking out for that.
Yeah, man. I just think that like, there's stuff. There's just stuff. There's always stuff going on, which is fun and
There's
cool.
always shit. Yeah, like because even though like we cleared a bunch of the songs that we've recorded a while ago, like I feel like I open iTunes and every time I like open it, like there's another song that is like from that era, and it's like fuck, like why didn't we just like put that on this? Why are we holding on to these songs? But
tough part of being an artist.
Yeah, there's always shit.
Always is shit. Well, let's get into these final questions here. It's been tough with this COVID world we've all been living in. Is there anything that's been grounding you guys and kind of, in those tough moments has been there for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the stuff that's like the most grounding is honestly like trying to be in the habit of setting good habits and like getting in that mind space of like, all right, word routine, but like good routine, productive routine, not a routine in which like you know, ideally it's like, all right, cool. What do we want to stop doing? Like maybe we probably want to stop smoking so many cigarettes. Like what do we want to start doing? We probably want to start, you know, going on runs and or whatever, you know, like that type of thing, and kind of like assessing the day like that. That for me has been super grounding, but also like cannot say enough about like the blessing and curse it is to be stuck inside all day. It just means that it's like I have a guitar like next to me all day, and so it's like word. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. Like I'm bored. I'm just gonna pick this up for a little bit, rip it. Yeah, living with Henry has been amazing. Living with our other roommates has been amazing. Just like all of the kind of little things that go into making this year feel like it wasn't. Yeah.
Good answers. Would you agree with those, Henry?
Yeah, I think for me the other thing was like I remember really early on I was like really hungry for information, and like I like didn't really care. Like I like there was part of me that was just like rip the band-aid off. Like I want to know about like what is going on, and like I don't want to like I don't know, like do whatever. And like that like kind of like set a tone, I think, where it was like, yeah, this is gonna suck, but it's like again, it's like setting those like kind of like good habits, and like um and also like kind of just acknowledging that like things aren't great, and it's like okay to have like bad days, and like
1000%.
whatever, and like not to like take it personally, and like I don't know, like those kinds of things, like
Yeah.
nothing like really like I don't know, staying busy, keeping the mind busy at least.
Respect. Keep the mind busy. Stay positive always. And being positive always doesn't mean you're always happy. Be like, this is going to be a negative situation I'm going to have to endure. I should have a healthy and gentle mindset, the way I can get through it without harming myself, and maybe I can learn something along the way. I think that's kind of the way to look at shit. So salute. Um, where can people reach you? What's a good like business social media contact type vibe?
Business.
Inquiries.
Instagram.
IG. What's the IG? Say it, Jack.
Ravine Music. There's the Ravine Music.
Uh-oh. You're just Ravine Music then.
Yeah, we're just Ravine Music. Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Any other plugs? Anything else you want to kind of shout out before I kind of wrap it up here?
Shouts out RhymeBeat.
Yeah,
Hey,
shouts out RhymeBeat. Shouts
thanks.
out Walk the Wind. Shouts out 1 Pound. Shouts out Ben's Been Dead. Shouts out
Nick Janacio. Yeah, shouts out.
Shouts like literally everybody who's making music. Lena Rich.
Yeah.
Genevieve Stokes, dude. Shouts out all of them.
Cool
people.
Jack Schwartz.
Yeah.
He was on the podcast recently.
Oh yeah.
Young Jack. .jxck.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
He's dope as fuck. Yeah, cool dude. Talented dude.
Yeah, man. There's so much talent, dude, and like it's just cool. It's cool to be part of the ecosystem.
It's
amazing. Right.
And that's why we do what we do here at Bunny's Crew. We got to put a little more light, have everything be in one area. That way everyone can be like, what's popping? Oh, there's a list. Yeah. Now I learn about these artists, and there's a whole fucking interview. Just like that. Full circle. All right. Well, I'm going to use my verbal vernacular spectacular to wrap this up with a little bow on it. Joe and Henry, Oliver, are a duo from the Portland, Maine area. They make very eclectic mix of genres. I call it singer-songwriter music with splashes of R&B, folk, and pop in a way. Again, everything's up to interpretation of the listener. Always remember that. Just because I say something, that's how I'm interpreted. You don't ever have to be like, what he says is fact. Don't do that. You need multiple sources. That's my thing about music. Because when I was younger, I'd be like, that's a music person. They know what they're talking about. Everything they're saying is true. No. I'm saying my opinion, Jack. Always want to say that first because that's key. You got to form your own opinions. But my opinion is these are two dope artists. They make a dope sound out here in the Portland scene that's unique. It's cool that you're twins too. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like that you guys are twins. That kind of adds something cool to like the brand. It's not the most emboldening biggest part of it, but I'm like, oh, these cousins, like, because honestly, like with your long hair, you kind of could be like cousins or something. You don't look like direct, like identical twins to me right now. So the fact that you are twins is cool.
Yeah, I see the way it's working in the Zoom. No, you're right about that. But
Yeah, I had triplet cousins growing up, and they looked exactly alike. Like you could tell like the triplets. But
was it like same haircut shit or?
yeah, same haircut. Like they always look the same. I'm like, this is fucked. Like I could tell them apart easily somehow, but I was just,
Yeah.
the older they got, one kind of started looking a little bit different. But
You gotta
regardless,
love it. You gotta love it, but it's a bit of a freak show.
it is. It is. But I like that freak show, and I like the Ravine.
Everyone.
The project is Color Behind the Eyes. Stay tuned for more. Beandogs too kind of got announced during this shit, so that's huge. Shout out Dysarts. If you see a man with a hook for an arm and he's got a bucket of Vaseline, he says, "I got a flat tire behind Dysarts. I need some help." And it's past 11 p.m. You don't go.
Don't go. It's
You
not
don't
worth
go.
it. Don't do it.
All right.
Just hop on 95. Just hop on 95. You're going south, dude.
I would go to Orono at that point, and then I'm like, I gotta find like a fucking piece of pizza from like OHOP or something to
Right.
my sorrows.
Right.
The Blue Zone or something, or maybe go to Family Dog and fucking have a drink outside and yell at people. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even go to Orono. All right, Ravine, thanks for coming. I got one more question. Unless there's anything else you want to say.
No.
All right, this is my last question. Where will the Ravine be 1 year from now?
Hopefully put something else out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's like the lesson. That's the lesson from this project is just like just do it. Just put stuff out. Whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares? So yeah, hopefully like putting some of the stuff out that we have today, some of the stuff that feels really good, honestly.
Who knows though, dude? Like a year ago today, you could ask that. Or it's a bad day to say it, but
I know what you're trying to say. You were trying to make it
You know
seem
what I'm
like
saying?
the whole 2020 thing.
yeah, a lot can change in a year, and who knows? Hopefully, I'm still alive. We're still alive.
That's a big one.
And ripping
I wanna
it.
be
And,
here in a year. If it's worth living, unless it's like dystopia world and there's like 3% oxygen left in the year and you have to be like in some underground 12 monkeys totalitarian thing.
Yeah, bro. I'm not living in mole world, bro. No
Yeah,
shot.
it ain't about that, man. Straight up, it should. Never mind. I'm never going to speak my business about important global stuff on camera, but let's just say mole world is the direction we're heading to. Best bet. What's happening up in here, Jack? But that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm already thinking 10 steps ahead of this fucking big business shit. You see me.
dude, that's for a separate pod.
Or
Like,
big tech. Big tech. Yeah, we need Sopranos pod. We need I guess world is collapsing
Yeah.
and we gotta survive podcast. And then
Honestly, man, I think we could rip for like 8 hours.
we can do it. I'm not serious. Like I'm serious.
Like-
Everyone's been inside so long. Everyone's like, I could talk about anything forever. And I'm already like that in general. So I'm just like twice like that. Well, this was fun, boys. Unless you got anything else to say, we're pretty much ready to sign off here.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Again, round 2.
Yeah, round 2. I think this one went a little bit better. Fingers crossed. Even though like this shit, like you gotta be. Come on, it's funny. I'm not gonna front. Luckily, having like 3/4 into the interview, so it'd be like that. All right. Well, thanks for listening at home. This podcast is sponsored by Yardie Ting, Beach Boys, Fire on 4, Crow's Nest, and High Roller Lobster Company. Big tech. You can come for us. You ain't getting us. Thank you at home for dealing with the technological difficulties. Spread love. Be a good person, and we'll see you next week.
Peace
Great.
out, brother.
See you, man.